Book it, boys. Welcome to Book It, a wrestling podcast for the fans, by the fans. We book, rebook, and revisit your favorite pro wrestling storylines. I'm Commissioner LilXFudge, and today we are here with your GMs, Damone D Money.
It's me.
Demonio?
Demonio, yes.
The bad guy, Kenny.
Oh, wrong person.
On Black
And
History
still
Month.
the fourth return.
On Black History Month. Oh, yeah.
Well,
And the fourth return of Hi-Fi Mike.
Timon's behind the ones and twos, so you can blame him for that one. John, you know what? I don't care what they say about you. You're a pretty decent guy.
Thanks. White guy compliment during Black History Month. But anyways, happy Black History Month from us here at Book It and at T13 Media. We are entering the month of February, which is going to be a huge month for this podcast. We've got a few great things coming up. First of all, we got 2 weeks of my BookItVerse, which is great if you like to laugh, because this shit's going to be awful. Then, following this week and next week of my BookItVerse, where I finish almost the stories. We got some shit for you after the bookies in 2 weeks. That's right. You've long awaited to find out who the Book It Boy of the Year is, the hater of the year, the wrestler of the year, the heel of the year, the feud of the year. All those and more, you can come check out on the Bookie Awards in 2 weeks' time, right here, regular time on Book It. And who knows, we might bust out the red carpet for some stars to return, appear, do some shenanigans, cut a promo.
Don't give these people hope.
You never know what to expect on the Bookie Awards. Some shit always goes
I
down.
might even throw us some ass.
Also, it's
I might throw some ass.
It's 2 weeks until John decides to split this show into 3 parts.
No. Don't do that. Y'all don't want 3 weeks of me, trust, because we're already about to get 6 weeks of He Who Shall Not Be Named. Following the
It's longer than that.
Is he
He
fucking
was
Voldemort?
He's Voldemort.
Yeah, it's like 8 weeks, I think,
Yeah,
technically,
he
or
split
something
his
like that.
shows from
Yeah, I
2
hope y'all ready to let's get ready to suffer.
We don't want our audience to suffer, John. We want them to enjoy the show.
Hey,
You should at
Travis,
least hype
I
it
think
up.
your show's good. I think your shows are going to be
Travis,
good.
You heard
Your
that, Mike? Have
show's
you heard the
gonna
term
be
suffering from success?
Travis's show is going to be so great that all the audience is going to listen.
It's going to be so entertaining to listen. That doesn't mean it's good. It's like 2008 TNA, the car
All right,
crash you
speaking
can't
of
turn
not
away
being
from.
Good, are we going to do this?
We watching Kurt Angle's third divorce and we here for it.
Hey, Kurt Angle's a nice human being.
I was just saying on TNA booking, but let's
I don't
begin.
know.
So tonight we are having the biggest show of the year, the WrestleMania of PPW, but it's a Christmas show, Armageddon. PPW Armageddon begins with Carol of the Bells by August Burns Red playing and the pyro going off. The Miz opens on commentary saying, "Welcome to the most seen pay-per-view of the year. Welcome to PPW Armageddon, celebrating the holidays live from North Pole, Alaska. I'm The Miz, unfortunately here with Joey Styles." Joey Styles says, coming off the heels of a great pre-show match where Hernandez retained the heavyweight championship, tonight is going to be cataclysmic and change the industry forever. But we're also going to have a lot of fun. We're going to pass it on over to our holiday cheermeisters, the reunited D-Generation X. The "Are You Ready?" hits, and Triple H and Shawn Michaels, who have bonded over the past few months over some shared enemies, come out to the stage. They appear wearing red and white versions of their gear with Santa hats, sitting in rocking chairs by the Christmas tree, holding a large gift bag. Triple H gets on the mic and says, "We were wrapping up our Secret Santa backstage, and when it came our turn, we were given this suspiciously shaped object." The screen is blurred, but the present is obviously penis-shaped. Sean continues, "To be fair, they did give us a very nice card to go with it, but they did not reveal their identity. The card reads, Hunter and Sean. I may have lost my dog, but you're my brothers who taught me how to chase the bag. You're a couple of good bros, but I'm all about the huzz. May your holidays be massive, like the low
The
taper.
Huzz?
And remember, it's about drive. The lights go out before the verse of "It's about drive, it's about power, we stay hungry, we devour" plays, and out comes The Rock. The crowd roars as DX's jaw drops. He takes the mic from Sean and says, "Finally, the Rizzler has come back."
Yuck.
PPW. Triple H cuts in to say, you never worked here. Who even let you in the Secret Santa?" The Rock says back, what the Sigma? You must be sick with ligma if you think The Rock, the Alpha, the Giga Chad is limited to one job. So do The Rock a favor, put the fries in the bag. Sean asks, what's ligma? The Rock pauses, raises the eyebrow. The crowd cheers, and with him yell, ligma balls. Sean yells, damn it, and punches the screen behind him. The Rock says, I don't give a damn about your skibbity Santa. I came Ohio to see where the huzz. And before he could finish his sentence, he gets super kicked by Michaels and thrown off the stage by Triple H through a large stack of presents off to the side.
So he
Sean
went
picks-
from Bofa Rock to Tick Rock instead of TikTok. Like this is
It's Brain Rock for Brain Rock.
damn it.
Sean picked up the mic and say, we're not in Ohio, we're in Alaska. What is this guy even talking about? What the hell is Riz or Skibbity? And his rant keeps getting quieter and quieter as Triple H drags him backstage and leads him away. That is the end of that segment, so I'll let y'all rate that separately. Give me your zeros, please.
What the fuck was that? All right.
You know it's bad if Mike goes first.
All right. So North Pole, Alaska has a population of just over 2,000.
Yep, and they're all here.
They got a show of 5 people.
I was about to say, how many people are in the stadium?
People flew out.
Right, is there a stadium? Like, where is this happen? Like, do they have? I should have
At the North Pole. Where's your Christmas spirit, you fuck?
I should have looked to see if they have even.
It's on a high school football.
Yeah, it's on their football, the high school football. Like, do they have a football?
No, it's not even on the field. It's just
This
in the
is-
high school gym.
And this is in December.
We're at Santa's workshop, okay?
They forced the kids to leave class to watch this show.
It's all elves. It's what's really happening.
Yeah,
He
Santa's
said, you want
elves
attention?
out
You watch the show. Please don't make us watch PPW.
here.
They do have
No,
They
this
do
is actually
have
at a school. They pop for that promo.
a polar ice center
You
from
have,
what I'm looking
alright,
at.
So you have The Rock,
Mm-hmm.
who by far is the easiest person to write a promo for, next to Stone Cold Steve Austin.
But what about the hub?
And you've had conversations about his formula, about how it works. You know how it works. You get it.
And he said, "Fuck all
You
that."
said, I'm gonna take everything that I've learned, and through the goodwill you've built up through this BookItVerse,
I have not built up any goodwill to this
You
book.
have.
Mike Grant, you did.
compared to the
Gave too much credit.
your redo, I felt like you started to do decent. And then you give us
That is so backhanded.
it wasn't supposed to be.
What
And
no
then
huzz does to a motherfucker.
because then you gave us this, and you said, "Yeah, I'm gonna write The Rock like he's a Gen Z brain rot."
Did you miss Bofa Rock? Did y'all
Yeah, we
forget
didn't
that this
like
is what
that.
I do?
No, I
Nobody
didn't forget
liked
about
that.
both.
He said nobody's like.
Nobody wanted that. Nobody liked that. You get dragged for it all the time, and here you are.
Hey, y'all don't even know what
We
you like.
gave you
Fuck
the
y'all.
keys to success, and you said, "Fuck it."
Keys
You
to
will
success-
apologize, John, and you will like
Mike,
it.
keys to success. I'm in last place. I don't give a fuck.
You know that nobody. The only two scores we know for sure is me and Kenny.
And I know I'm not beating Kenny, so like,
Nobody's beating Kenny.
We out here having fun, Mike. We in the North Pole. We celebrating Christmas. Now you stop being a Grinch
Also,
and put the fries in the bag and give me my five.
February.
Put the toys in the bag.
It's February. I'm over Christmas. That being said, this reminded me somewhat of a really bad Christmas Attitude Era segment. 1.5.
Okay.
I should have given you that penny we talked about.
Damone, where you at with it?
You know what? I laughed, and I could definitely see this happening during the Attitude Era. Like if the Attitude Era had like the brain rot language and stuff, I could see this happening. Maybe not with The Rock getting like thrown through because it's The Rock,
I
but
just feel like it shouldn't have been The Rock. I think the problem was it was The Rock paired up against it.
I feel it would probably be more like a jobber doing it than The Rock. But I feel like in this world, this universe, Bo for Rock is kind of a jobber. You know what? For the audacity and the fact that I laughed, I'm giving you a fucking 5.
I love Damone.
Yeah, this is gonna be all over the place.
Did I mention Happy History Month, Damone?
For the audacity of sticking to it. We told you we don't want this, and you said, fuck y'all.
Not
Y'all
only
get
did I
anyway.
bring
That
back
is a
Wolf of Rock,
wild-
he crossed the space-time continuum to a different universe for this to happen.
He literally said, "Y'all don't like corn dogs. Y'all gonna get some corn dogs."
Also,
I'll pay
hint
full
about
price
the
for 'em.
space-time
Don't
continuum
expect
for
me.
later shows, but this is just the domino beginning to fall. This is long-term booking. Get ready.
We ordered chicken nuggets. You handed us a peanut butter and jelly.
So you'll like it. You
And
will
you
like
don't like it.
Not even peanut butter and jelly, just
I asked
peanut
for the
butter.
manager and got half my money back at minimum. So what are we doing?
He said, "We got sugar sandwiches."
That's what they got at the North Pole. They got the gumdrop buttons, like
All right, Kenny.
raindrop drop top buttons.
Raindrop, gumdrops. All right. I will say, you getting these points because I laughed. So I'm gonna give you because it wasn't good. I would say that it wasn't good, but it wasn't terrible. I want to say like it did make me laugh. So I'm gonna give you a solid 2.
I'll take
from
that.
I'm
I
gonna
don't
give you a
feel so
solid
bad
2.
with the 1-5.
Kenny heard the word "huzz," and that's what's got him.
Nah, I was just like, damn it, damn it, not the huzz.
All right. So to transition to the next match, Joey Styles on commentary says, "Well, that certainly put me in a holly jolly mood, but this next matchup will be nothing of the sort." Miz says, "Things are about to escalate fast as we go from Secret Santa to Buried Alive," before showing the video package recap. So we're doing 3-month builds for the story, so this is going to be month 1. After securing her match with Abaddon at Armageddon, China still had a lot to prove, to the locker room, to the fans, and to herself. All she had done in PPW is win 1 tournament. She remains an outsider and a giant question mark. She addressed this in a sit-down interview saying, "I know I got multiple uphill battles ahead of me. No one knows me here. I showed up to take on the biggest challenge this industry has ever seen, to defeat the undefeated, to dethrone the queen. She claims to have some kind of supernatural power, but I have natural power. There's nothing I can't fight my way out of. Starting tonight, I show the PPW locker room and the fans why I'm the woman that could put this company on her back and run it up a fucking mountain." The clip ends and China comes out to defeat a local talent in a 4-on-1 handicap match. The victories continue that month as she defeats Jody Threat and Viva Vaughn in slightly competitive but lopsided matches. She gets backstage from the ladder and is confronted by head women's trainer Gail Kim, who says, "I think you are the right person for the job, the person who can beat Abaddon, but I can't know until I see everything you have. Next week, we're going to have a street fight. If I can beat you, you're not going to lead this division. If you beat me, you do not leave me standing. Beat me until I have to be dragged out of the building. That's what it will take and then some. Then I'll know you're ready." The match takes place and is back and forth for about 10 minutes, but once China gets control, it gets ugly. No matter what wrestling move she hits, Kim kicks out. China has to resort to using every weapon under the ring until she can't and still can't keep her down. She thinks the job is done when she military presses Kim with a trash can on her head, off the apron through the announce table, but Kim reappears. China gets frustrated and eventually resorts to a repeated concerto before the ref has to stop the match. So now we're going on to the second month. To start the next month, Gail Kim comes out on a neck brace and says, China, I need you to come out here and face me. There's something I need to say straight to your face. China makes her way out, and Kim continues, last week you did exactly what I asked and what I needed. I needed to know that you could do this, and now I know that you can. I may have given up my career to know, but I've paid it forward. It's you or it's no one. At Armageddon, I need you to squash that bug, bitch. They shake hands, but as they do, the lights go out, the locusts scream, and when the lights come back on, Abaddon has Gail Kim up in the second level of the crowd, hanging her over the rail by her neck, almost like Michael Jackson was holding that baby, before dropping her below. The next 3 weeks, Abaddon continues to take out various women in the locker room, with China being late to make the save. Zaya Brookside is found bloodied and hung by her feet in the locker room. Mariah May is found chained to a link fence in the boiler room. Willow Nightingale is found on a broken windshield in the parking lot. On the beginning episode of this month, on Wednesday Night Drive, the weekly show, China comes out to the ring to call out Abaddon, saying, 2 months have passed since I became number one contender, and while a lot has changed, one crucial thing remains the same. You have not met me face to face. So whenever you're ready to stop with the Houdini shit and look me in the eye, I'm right here, you Beetlejuice bitch. The lights go out, and when they come back up, Abaddon has China in an elevated sleeper hold from the corner that she holds until China passes out. The next week, Abaddon is seen on video, sitting on her throne, and her message is simple. I'm about to do that nasty-ass voice. China, you have made a grave error. You seek the gold, but you have found your end. The curse is real. Your testament is written. China is seen at different times throughout the show, going around the arena and even the city to find where this is filmed to no success. Next week, a video shows a creepy graveyard with fog, chilly air, and all. You expect to see Abaddon there, but it's China on the screen, saying, you want to talk about grave errors, huh? You made the grave error of pissing me off. Everyone is sick of you holding that title hostage and keeping women from focusing on this sport. Also, you could try and convince everyone that you have superpowers. I'm sorry your parents didn't give you enough attention, but I'm done sitting back and watching you destroy the sport that I love. I'm not only going to beat you, no, I'm going to make sure that you never come back. At Armageddon, humiliating you isn't enough. I'm going to put you in the dirt, and I'm going to bury you alive. On the go-home show, China goes to the ring and says she will not leave until Abaddon appears face-to-face. The lights go out again, but when they come back on, it's Abaddon who's knocked out in the ring, and China's flicking her hand like she hit her so hard that it hurt herself, and The Miz on commentary is screaming, I think China just knocked her out. One hit. And Joey Styles is saying, this is bad news for the champ come Armageddon. And now we get to the attires. China is wearing Undertaker tribute gear with black and purple with the long gloves. Abaddon is wearing matte black unitard with knee-high boots, sporting a sleeveless long coat for her entrance. During Abaddon's entrance, the throne raises up from a Cody Vader. But as she comes up, China big boots her out of it, picks up her throne, throws it down, breaking it into multiple pieces, almost like some IKEA furniture. In fact, The Miz jokes about the furniture being from Temu on commentary. China scoop slams Abaddon onto the hard entrance ramp, throws her down the entrance ramp into barricades, giving her stiff chops. She then clotheslines her over into the crowd. Abaddon fights back from the crowd, but then climbs onto the barricade and hits a crossbody off of it. Abaddon then sits on the barricade to elevate herself and lock in the elevated sleeper hold from the barricade. China lifts her up from this and then jumps back to slam Abaddon's back onto the hard entrance ramp. Abaddon crawls away, but with China chasing after, but Abaddon is able to lift the shovel by the dirt mount and push it into China's stomach before hitting her in the back, full strength with the handle side. Abaddon gets China hoisted over in powerbomb lift position. but China reverses and hits an Alabama slam, throwing Abaddon into the dirt. She begins trying to quickly scoop dirt over, but as Abaddon begins to be covered, she sits up Undertaker style and climbs out of the dirt. China tries to stomp her back down, but Abaddon hits a dragon screw from below, climbs out, and busts China open with punches straight to the head. She then hits the headshot, which is a spike Hurricane Rana onto a kneeling opponent, and then pushes China into the dirt mound. Abaddon starts to scoop the dirt, but China gets up, gets hold of the shovel from below. Abaddon theatrically shakes her head no, doing it super over the top, like, no, no. As China yoinks it from her, and then Abaddon flips into the dirt mound with her. They exchange blows and each attempt to climb out. Abaddon escapes first with China following, shovel in hand. China uses her reach to get a hold of Abaddon's hair, then hits a Russian leg sweep on the stage with a shovel over her neck, like how Sandman used to do with the kendo stick. They both struggle to get up after the repeated hard bumps. China lifts Abaddon up for a powerbomb, but Abaddon shifts around to an electric chair position. She's able to then get her hands onto the metal bars in the stage backdrop above and lock in the elevated sleeper. As China's feet leave the ground, the lights flicker and the sound of Locust screaming plays, and when the lights are back on, China is unconscious, leaving Abaddon able to hit a cemetery drive, which is a reverse gory special, throwing China into the mound face first to be successfully buried alive, and Abaddon retains the title.
So I'm torn. So I think Abaddon's your best character. In this, at least in this BookItVerse. And I'm torn on whether China should have won or Abaddon. Because like the thing is, I don't now that you've had China lose, I don't know, you've built no one who can beat Abaddon. Like she's literally unbeatable. At this point, and yeah, I don't know. I'm torn.
So can I give you some information that might make you feel better?
Sure.
Abaddon is going to BookItVerse 5. So that is part of it, why she won, because I have her in BookItVerse 5, but this story is not finished.
That does make it better, but I still, as of right now, as of what has been presented, there's no, she's unbeatable. You might need to get. I can trade you Tessa Blanchard. I'm sure.
Power of racism's gonna be
Power of racism's gonna be the power of bugs. So there's that. Also, think 3 months was too long for this build because it felt very stretched out. Like having her win a tournament for a title match in 3 months is a lot. Like I get with like obviously Royal Rumble to WrestleMania, but that's like a month or two, and there's stuff like happening really in between. Where here she won the title, and then pretty much they didn't really do a whole. They did some stuff, but they didn't do a whole lot for a full almost 3 months. So I think for this build, the build. Obviously, I think it's hard, obviously, because you already had her doing like win the tournament last time. So I think you would have been better off like they have a first match and Abaddon cheats or something to like continue the story as opposed to she just waits for 3 months to get a title shot.
Yeah, that's kind of why I did that like Gail Kim storyline building up, kind of like the Goku going to the time chamber type shit.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give you a 3.75.
I thought the wrong person won, but overall I liked it. I'm gonna give you 4.
What you think, Kenneth?
I had to put the score in real quick. I'm gonna be the hater of this. It's not like I'm not that much of a hater on him, but I'm gonna be the hater out of everybody else compared to this. I'm gonna get you at a solid 3. It just didn't move me like that, and I didn't like the fact that you said she just won a tournament. It was just the way you said it, like it was nothing. Like all she did was win a tournament, and I was like, that's a lot. Like,
well, I mean, that was like the first thing she had done in the company. because she got brought in from outside. Because remember, last episode was Build. General Manager Dan the Dad got desperate and brought in a bunch of new talent to try to get the belt off her.
Yeah.
So that tournament was the first thing she did. Nobody else really knows her.
Okay. I don't know. I just didn't like the way you said it. You was like, yeah, she's, all she did was win a tournament. I was like, what? That's a lot.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I was trying to like, she was like trying to be humble, but like nobody knows me here. Like, I know I gotta like earn the locker room and stuff.
Okay. But yeah, that's all I got for you.
All right, I will get on to the next bit. 1 second. All right, so for the next match, Jack Perry continues antagonizing vets in the locker room. Shawn Michaels gets up from sulking and says, "All right, kid, I'll be honest. I like your style. You remind me of a young me. But just know, the crash is just as big as the high. Take it from me." Perry says, "You trying to offer me advice? You got embarrassed by Kenny Omega the same night I was putting your old buddy through the glass. You're taking time and money from guys like me who really deserve it. This locker room and this company need a kick in the ass, and that is me." He slaps Michaels in the face, and then Michaels lunges at Perry, but the Young Bucks, who are still managing Michaels, break it up. Perry continues going on locker room tirades throughout the weeks. This is, of course, month 1. I forgot to say that. About washed-up talent coasting off their legacies and saying that he's taken over the locker room. He says someone who's broken through the glass ceiling and put down Triple H should be the top dog around. This is until he's attacked in the locker room by Michaels. Michaels says he can't believe he, out of all people, has to teach a lesson in humility. And he challenges Perry to a match at No Way Out, which is the pay-per-view of the first month of the build. Perry is able to beat Michaels clean, ducking a sweet chin music, hitting the ropes, and hitting a glass jaw knee strike. After the match, Perry tries to attack Shawn Michaels, but the Young Bucks get between, protecting Shawn and helping him up when Perry walks away, only to slowly build up to a BTE trigger on Shawn, just like they did to Kenny Omega to join him in the first place. The first person to try to make the save is Kenny Omega, who runs out to fight him off, but both Kenny Omega and Shawn Michaels get overwhelmed 2-on-3. That is until the music of Triple H hits, returning for the first time since the glass ceiling match, clearing the ring, but with his motives unclear. So now for the month 2 build, Kenny, Shawn, and Triple H are seen backstage the week after No Way Out. Shawn Michaels opens by saying, "Well, first of all, thanks, guys. But second of all, why? I really don't deserve a damn thing from either one of you." Kenny Omega says, "Well, I still don't like you, but I hate Matt and Nick more, and I couldn't stand to watch you endure what I endured. It seems you got a real friend to handle that. But I don't mind kicking Jack's ass this month. So, Shawn, I'll see you around." And Kenny leaves the locker room. This leaves Triple H and Shawn Michaels alone. Shawn Michaels looks over to Triple H and asks, "So, what's going on, Hunter?" And H says, "I really don't know. I hate those guys too. And though you've been a real doucher lately, you're still my brother." The rest of the month is spent with Shawn awkwardly approaching Triple H, trying to rekindle their friendship by bringing up the past or talking about their common enemies. By the end of the month, they're laughing and getting along without the weirdness. They go out to the ring together with the DX song, wearing the green, and saying the catchphrases, and finally challenge the Young Bucks to a match at that week's pay-per-view, Guilty as Charged, but the Bucks don't respond. Now we get to this month. So this month begins with DX coming out and Triple H saying, "Well, it seems that the Young Bucks don't respond well to a sportsmanlike challenge, so we've resorted to other means. First and foremost, we thought it was kind of horse shit that you hid in the locker room last week, so we've commemorated that." And then the screen shows a horse outside of the Young Bucks locker room having shat everywhere, trapping them in their locker room. Shawn continues, "We also decided that everyone's dinner tonight is on you guys. So if everyone will look to the screen, Matt and Nick Jackson's credit card information will be displayed." The Young Bucks appear on screen, irate at what just happened. And
So
Matt screams,
Yeah, I was gonna say just anybody that does it.
Bro just committed identity theft on live. Then he's the baby face. Matt says, "We will not be goaded into wasting our time with your middle school pranks." Nick takes over. "Sean, we let you go. We no longer needed you. Now stop being creepy and let us go. Your answer is no." Uh, the next week on Drive, the Young Bucks are advertised to be in action, but a video plays of DX sneaking into their locker room and stealing their ring gear. When it comes time for the match and their music plays, the Young Bucks come on screen from the locker room wearing nothing but towels. Nick yells, "Due to unforeseen circumstances, the Young Bucks will not be able to compete tonight." Matt says, "However, we will be competing at Armageddon. DX, since you're so desperate to feel young again, we will face you in that ring and we will show you how old and broken down and embarrassing you both have become. We got 2 words for you. Fuck you." And then they walk away all pissed off in their towels looking like a couple of dorks. Next week, it's advertised for DX versus the Young Bucks face to face. The Young Bucks open with Matt saying, "When you see DX versus the Young Bucks on paper, you think of a dream match, the best versus the best, a marquee once in a lifetime event. But now it's a sad old joke. While we are on top of the world and still ascending, you guys are a parody of yourselves." Nick says, "We have always dreamed about facing and beating you growing up, but this version of you had to pester us for the time. Now you're going to regret having done so because we are going to enjoy putting you down. Sean, we left you because the writing was on the wall. After losing 2 big matches, we knew you had nothing left. This is it, guys." Triple H responds, "So, you'd like us to be more serious, huh? Because everybody who knows a damn thing about Triple H knows what happens when I get serious. I leave guys in pools of their blood. I've ruined and ended careers in and out of this ring. I've sat on top so long my ass fell asleep. So get this. Sean and I, we can treat this match like a joke and we can still win because we're that damn good." Sean says, "And don't forget about what old HB Shizzle has done when he's locked in. I can't lie. This is a little bit more personal for me than it is for Hunter. I trusted you guys as a mentor and a friend. But I'm not angry at you guys. In fact, I feel bad. I feel bad because you awoke a Shawn Michaels who could once be high out of his mind and still wrestle circles around you and twice on Tuesdays. So yeah, we're going to have fun in Armageddon and we're going to keep embarrassing you until then." The Bucks look down and try to surprise DX with double super kicks, which Triple H immediately reverses Nick's into a spine buster. But Shawn catches Matt's, waggles his finger at him, spins him around, and hits a super kick of his own, leaving him to stumble into a pedigree from the game. On the go-home show, the crowd gets hyped up when they hear DX's entrance start, but the song continues, and they don't come out. Then the feed shows the Young Bucks attacking DX in gorilla position. Triple H gets knocked down with a monitor to the head and busted open. Shawn Michaels gets choked out with a wire. The Bucks look on camera, and Nick says, "All 4 of us know a thing or two about running a show, but it's about time we wrote you off." And then the feed cuts. So for the attires, DX is still wearing their red Christmas attire, and the Young Bucks come out in fuzzy green Grinch themed attire. So the match starts off chaotic when HBK clotheslines Nick Jackson out of the ring. The Bucks try walking away, but Triple H stops them before Michaels acai moonsaults into all 3. There I am. They get Nick back into the ring, and Triple H is tagged in. Nick gets some space and tries a springboard plancha from the apron, but gets reversed into a spine buster out of the air. Triple H goes for a long-standing suplex, but as he flexes, Nick comes down and chop blocks Triple H's bad knee before tagging in Matt, who springboard 450s for a close 2. 1 second. I keep losing my place. There we go. They get Nick back into the ring, and Triple H is tagged in. Nick gets some space and tries to springboard plancha from the apron, but gets reversed into a spine buster out of the air. The camera shows Shawn reaching out for a hot tag, but Nick runs around the ring, pulls Shawn off the apron, and then Matt and Nick do moonsaults at the same time. Nick's from the apron to the floor, and Matt's from the nearest turnbuckle on a Triple H. Matt and Nick take turns tagging each other in and hitting running shooting stars, flexing after each one. They stand in the ring too long, flexing, allowing Shawn Michaels to run in, hitting a flying clothesline, a kip up, and for DX to hit the crotch chops over them. Shawn returns to the apron, and when Triple H goes to tag him, Matt clings onto his foot, and Nick distracts the ref, and then Matt low blows Triple H to keep him in the ring and stomp on the knee. Matt tags Nick for them to hit a double super kick, but Triple H kicks out barely in time for the 2. Nick tags Matt back in, and they set up for the BTE trigger, but this time Shawn distracts the ref, and Triple H low blows them both. He then hits each one with a knee stamp for a flying oversell from each of the Young Bucks. Triple H then hobbles over and jumps to Shawn for the hot tag. Shawn hits flying clotheslines on both, then drop down, and hop over drop kicks, firing up the crowd. He starts tuning up the band, but then the Bucks try to run out of the ring again. When they get to the apron, Shawn smashes their heads together, then suplexes Matt Jackson back into the ring from the apron. Shawn hits the diving elbow, but Nick breaks up the pin. Shawn super kicks Nick out of the ring, but Matt super kicks Shawn. Matt starts tuning up the band, once again mocking the "I'm sorry, I love you" thing. And then Matt goes for the kick, but Shawn rolls under and tags Triple H before super kicking Matt. Triple H hits the pedigree on him. 1, 2, Nick breaks up the pin. Matt and Nick stomp on Triple H until Shawn hits the diving blockbuster on both from the top rope, and then kips up, tunes the band to send Nick flying over the hits Sweet Chin Music to send Nick flying over the top rope. Runs around the ring, tunes up the band again. The ref stops him, and then DX comedically has to stop, do the legal tag, and then tune up the band before Shawn hits another Sweet Chin Music, tags Triple H, who hits another pedigree. 1, 2, 3.
And was that for the tag titles?
No.
Okay.
Can you tell me the finish one more time?
What?
Can you tell me that finish one more time?
Okay. So Matt and Nick are stomping on Triple H until Shawn hits a diving blockbuster on both, kips up, tunes up the band, super kicks Nick Jackson over the top rope. He runs around the ring all hyped up. He starts to tune up the band to hit Matt, but the ref stops him because he's not the legal man. And then they have to do a comedic stop and tag back and forth to make it legal. And then he tunes up the band, hits another sweet chin music, and then tags Triple H, who hits the pedigree. 1, 2, 3.
I thought
Like it was like intentionally like an awkward pause because like the ref was like, "Hey, Shawn, you're not legal. Actually, go tag in."
so. Then why did? So did he? Did I miss the tag that Triple H did to Shawn?
Shawn.
Because you said he wasn't the man, and then right after that, Triple H tagged in.
So they tagged back and forth. So like Triple H was the legal man when Shawn hit the first super kick. He stayed in the ring too long trying to hit a second. Triple H tagged him in. Shawn hit a Sweet Chin Music like this time, and then he tagged Triple H in for the pedigree.
Okay.
Like it was like goofy because like DX Shawn Michaels is like the dumb one.
Yeah. I liked it overall. I didn't really have any problems with it. I like the story. I like the tag teams. I'm gonna give you a 5.
Hell yeah.
Okay, I'm not going. It wasn't a 5, but I did like this though. I was at a solid 4.
Okay.
I'm gonna be right in the middle of them. I'm at a 4.5. Like it's not a perfect 5. Like it's not 5 and perfect or anything, but I enjoyed it. The right team won, and yeah, it was 4.5.
Hell yeah. Of course, Simone thinks Triple H wins the right team, but I also
It's
understand
it's always the right team when we get a Triple H dub.
and the story did call for it. All right. So we got 2 more matches to go. So After Big Business a few months ago, everybody was wondering why Dakota Kai tipped the ladder as Orange Cassidy almost won Money in the Bank, ending their relationship. Dakota comes out the week after and enters the ring with a microphone. She stands with her arms crossed as the crowd boos, telling her to shut the fuck up every time she picks up the mic. When she finally gets to speak, she says, I know, you're probably all wondering why I did it, why I turned on him. But the answer is simple. He was holding me back. He was the weak link in this relationship. Look at me. Look at my talent, my ability, my looks. I was always better than him, but I was always in his shadow. He made me feel like I wasn't good enough to stand alone. So I made sure that I was not standing beside him anymore. Dakota pauses to soak in the heat and the heavy boos. He's a joke, and I'm done playing the fool. You all want to cheer for him, Mr. Lazy, Mr. Cool? Well, let me tell you something. When I'm done with him, you won't remember his name. Dakota Kai will get all the attention and respect she deserves. Orange doesn't respond, as she spends the month verbally tearing him down and blaming him for her failures. She also becomes more ruthless in her matches, beating down her opponents and bloodying them following victories. For the second month, Dakota does this again to open them. The next month, she defeats Molly Holly and busts her open until Orange Cassidy's music hits. He gets to the ring and is face to face. He pulls a hand out of his pocket, gets handed a mic, and as he begins to speak, Dakota kicks him in the balls and stands over him. The next week, he goes out to the ring and says, Dakota, I have no desire to fight with you, verbally or physically. I respect your decision to break up. I just want to know why. Why did you have to interfere in the Money in the Bank ladder match? I never wanted to shrink you, but I do want to be top of the world champion, and now I'm in the back of the line. Dakota comes out to the stage and says, Orange, I don't owe you an explanation. I will not just be Mr. Money in the Bank's girlfriend. I will not be arm candy. I had to knock you off the ladder to ascend to the top. And they're both standing on the stage area. She throws a mic at him, and as he's trying to catch it, she shoves him off the stage as he falls into the electrical equipment for the explosion. And throughout the rest of that month, Orange will continue trying to communicate, but repeatedly get attacked. Now to this month. The first episode this month has Jonathan Coachman announce, I'm here at this time with Orange Cassidy. Orange, to say the least, you're having an ugly breakup. You seek closure, but you've been getting physically assaulted. How much more can you take? Orange responds, honestly, not much. It seems like talking won't make her understand. I'll give her one more chance. Dakota, please meet me in the ring. Orange goes out and waits for Dakota to come to the ring. Dakota comes out and screams, what do you want, huh? What's your goal other than to piss me off? I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to get you another title shot. I hate you, and every time you're near me, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. So get out of my face, and slaps him another time. Orange drops the mic and does like the signature like soft shin kicks as the crowd goes, oh, oh, oh. Dakota punches Orange, and Orange finally hits back, knocking her down, and Dakota slides out of the ring, running away. On the second week, Dakota comes out wearing a neck brace, and she says with a somber tone, I can't believe I have to come out here to a PPW ring and face this nasty crowd after a man laid hands on me. She starts to fake cry, pretty obviously. I can't believe this company would allow such a thing. Where is the justice for women? Where is the justice for victims? And Orange Cassidy comes out and interrupts, saying, Dakota, I'm so sorry. I never meant for that to happen. I don't know what I was thinking. Please forgive me, at least for this. Orange starts to enter the ring and get closer with her, but Dakota kicks the rope up into him and starts wailing on him before dragging him to the corner and hitting the Kaio kick, which is the broski boot, and then taking off her neck brace, proving that she was faking it. The next week, General Manager Dan the Dad is advertised to address last week's incident between Dakota Kai and Orange Cassidy. He comes out and says, I know there's mixed accounts and mixed opinions about what took place last week. Let's look strictly at what we've seen on camera. Dakota Kai has attacked Orange Cassidy 6 times, while Orange has responded once. I know both parties will be reluctant, but it seems this conflict will only be resolved in the ring. Though intergendered matches aren't the norm, they do happen. We believe that all athletes are equal, and when there's a grudge to be settled, wrestling is the solution. So at Armageddon, we will see Orange Cassidy versus Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai comes out and says, "You know what? That's perfect. I've already made my point and released my anger, but now I get to humiliate Orange Cassidy and elevate myself even further. I look forward to signing that contract if Orange even shows up." Um, on the go home show, the contract signing is ready. Dakota comes out to the table where General Manager Dan the Dad stands. Orange Cassidy's music plays, but he doesn't come out. Dakota grabs the mic and says, "See, I knew he wouldn't show. He's pathetic and he's weak. His ego can't handle being defeated by a woman on the biggest show of the year. I'll just take the forfeit victory and maybe I could challenge for the world title. I'd actually win it, unlike him. What a joke." As she keeps talking, Orange music hits again, and this time he comes out, saunters to the ring, and says, "I never wanted to fight you, but if you insist," and signs the contract reluctantly. As he does, she jumps onto and off the table to lunge at him, but Orange hits an orange punch to level Kai, knocking her out of the air, and she lays flat on the mat. Orange looks at her in his fist, clearly feeling guilty. For the attires, Orange is going to show up wearing the black denim, and then Dakota is going to wear orange gear with denim patches to mock Orange. Um, So Orange tries to put his hands in his pockets, but Dakota slaps his hands away every time he tries. She then whips him off the ropes. But when he does get his hands into his pockets, he hits the front drop kick and kips up. Dakota Kai hits repeated forearms at a discus elbow, but can't knock him down. Orange uses the strength advantage he has with a standing suplex with one hand in his other pocket before dropping her down. Dakota rolls to the outside, but Orange hits the ropes and Suicide dives through with his hands in his pockets. Dakota spears Orange into the barricade, then gets in the ring to gloat as Orange starts to get counted out, and Orange barely makes it back in by 9. As he slides in, she stomps him out of frustration to where the ref has to push her off. She then sets him up for the KO kick, the broski boot, with a pin attempt in 2. Kai then hits the scorpion kick over her head, knocking Orange back against the ropes, then repeatedly kicks him in the chest. She then hits a code breaker, pin attempt for another 2. Dakota starts to target Orange's stomach, hitting a fireman's carry gutbuster, then a standing foot stamp. She climbs up top and goes for the diving foot stamp, but Orange was out of the way, and then hits a tilt-a-whirl to tornado DDT for a pin attempt in 2. Orange kips up again and starts prepping for an orange punch as the crowd cheers. Kai gets up and he starts to move, but Kai drags the ref in the way, knocking the ref down. Kai runs to the outside, and Orange chases her. She starts to crawl into the ring and get away, and Orange grabs her leg and to drag her out. He pulls her back, but then she cracks him in the head with a kendo stick from under the ring until he loses balance. Dakota slides Orange into the ring and then hits the chiropractor as he gets up, and then the ref gets up to count the 1, 2, 3. The chiropractor, by the way, being a front flip backstabber.
Okay. Right person won. I think it made the most sense. And I do appreciate that you didn't go the trope of him not like refusing to like fight her the whole time, and then like doing like one move and then she just beats him or some, like, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You treated them like they were actual, like they were on the same level. So he hit her, she hit him.
Yeah.
In the
I try to do
actual
the
match,
psychology of like the strength advantage,
right?
But like not have it be like, the woman is frail, because like he's a cruiserweight, like, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Or you didn't do like kind of like WWE was doing with Rhea for a bit, where she was just dominating men, but like they would never actually like try and like attack her back.
Yeah.
I like the story for the most part. I'm gonna give this a 4.
I repeat that sentiment. We're going with 4.
You said what?
He gave you a
Repeat
4.
that sentiment. I'm going with a 4.
Okay.
I will be the non-hater on this one. I gave you a 4.5 on this one.
Nice.
I think your story, or not story, but I think your pay-per-view is getting better with each one. And I appreciate a good men versus women match, even though y'all did me dirty when I tried to do it.
I don't remember who you did.
There's X-Pac and Victoria.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that was like an end sexism match.
No, it wasn't. He was whooping her ass.
That's right. And then then in the next BookItVerse, he ended sexism. That's right.
He became Nice Pac after.
Okay, but we got Nice Pac out of that.
Hey, sometimes you got to go through hell to get to heaven.
Oh, I know.
But also, I had the woman win, so I beat the sexism allegations. So it's Black History Month. I'm ending sexism. And here, on this next match, I'm going to fight for gay rights.
Oh, I forgot. You had them do smooching. Is that this one?
Yep. So, yeah. Kenny, you better hide your homophobia. So, after beating...
homophobia is running wild.
After defeating Blazing Saddles become the new tag team champions, the registered flex offenders are flying high. But Blazing Saddles have two things. A new relationship with one another and a contractual rematch. They call their shot at that month's pay-per-view, No Way Out. In an interview with Jonathan Coachman, Riddle says, "Am I sad we lost the PPW Tag Team Championships? Yeah, I'm bummed. But overall, I couldn't be happier. Because now the Blazing Bros are more than just bros. We're bro friends. And with that comes a whole new level of chemistry." Right, Rob? Rob takes over and says, "Damn right, Matt. Now that we know what we want, together we could take back our belts. Flex offenders, better stock up on baby oil and steroids because at No Way Out, we're taking back our belts."
Bro Friends is hilarious.
I hate that. I hate it.
Of course you do. I hate it. You can't stand to see a man and his bro friend.
I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Call me homophobic. I don't like it.
The next week, the Flex offenders respond with Tony Nese saying, "Blazing Bros, Blazing Saddles, whatever you call yourself this week. You want to talk about steroids when your whole gimmick is using drugs that are illegal in 11 states?" Scott takes over. "You want to talk about baby oil when you're the one having ditty parties in the party bus? Disgusting." And Tony says, "Make all the jokes you want because our victory at Big Business was no joke. No Way Out will be no different. You might be blazing boyfriends, but we're built for battle, and no one can overpower us." And Scott finishes by saying, "Oh, by the way, thanks for saving more girls for us, you couple of goofs." They start to walk away before turning around.
They're fat.
They're gay. Turn around, grabbing the camera, and screaming, "Sound the alarms!" in unison. They end up having a brawl in a local gym later on that month that gets the police called and are ordered to make no contact until No Way Out. The match takes place, and the registered flex offenders steal the victory when Scott elevates his feet on the rope for a pin, but is doing push-ups so that the ref is distracted. RVD and Riddle make their case to the ref after the match, but are ignored. They take matters in their own hands, chasing the flex offenders up the ramp and getting in a few punches before the flex offenders scurry backstage. RVD gets a mic and says, "Don't think for a second that this is the last you've heard of us. You cheated because you know that if you fought fair, we'd have an 133 1/3 chance of winning." So for the second month, the registered flex offenders say outright that they will not give a rematch, with Scott Steiner saying, "Everyone is saying that Blazing Saddles deserve another rematch. Why? Why? You can't tell me why. Because we've beaten those he stops himself, those guys twice. They could go back to the back of the line, sell a few shirts, probably size medium, and if they want another ass whooping, they can earn one."
Look how they massacred my boy.
Tony takes over. "We're on to bigger," they both flex, "and better," they show off the abs, "things. Just like every gym and every girl knows, This division knows we're the biggest and baddest, and no one will take these belts off us. Hell, we could strap the belts around our biceps because they're so big. This is us putting every tag team in the world on notice. Running into us is a death sentence. They both stop, grab the camera, and scream, "Sound
Down
the
the
alarm!"
alarm.
That month, they go on to have a feud with the Nemeth brothers, who they will face at Guilty as Charged. Meanwhile, Blaze and Saddles have a productive month, stacking wins and mocking the Flex offenders in their victories, hoping to get their attention. Guilty as Charged comes, and the Flex offenders have control of the Nemeth brothers. This is until Blaze and Saddles makes a big entrance with Jimmy Wang Yang's party bus finally fixed. Because remember, they tipped it over last pay-per-view. This causes the Nemeth brothers to get momentum and almost win the match. However, with Blaze and Saddles at ringside, the Flex offenders get another win. They walk away from Blaze and Saddles, flashing their tag titles and flexing at them. To now start this month. This month begins with a tag battle royal to determine the new number one contenders for the PPW Tag Team Championships. It's a hard-fought match, but the final two teams are Blaze and Saddles and the Wingmen, Cesar Bononi and Peter Avalon. They're easily able to catch Peter Avalon off guard and eliminate him, but struggle with the much bigger Cesar Bononi. Cesar is able to chokeslam Riddle over the top rope to the floor, but then RVD immediately hits a spinning side kick while he's hunched over to eliminate him and win Blaze and Saddles one more shot. Their music plays and they celebrate in the ring for a minute until they start looking over their shoulders and realizing Jimmy Wang Yang is no longer there with them. They then hear the alarms of the Flex Offenders theme song and see Scott and Tony dragging Jimmy through the crowd. They clear fans out of a row of chairs before using both of their strength to hoist Jimmy up and throw him onto the row of chairs while Jimmy has an ugly landing. Riddle and RVD run after them, but the Flex Offenders have already made their distance and got away. The next week, Blaze and Saddles come out to call out the Flex Offenders for their actions. RVD says, "You'd think that guys who talk about nothing but how big and strong they are wouldn't have to attack innocents from behind. You'd think that they wouldn't have to cheat to win matches against a couple of gay stoners." The crowd cheers, and as Rob passes the mic to Riddle, who says, "The truth is, bro, they're not strong. They bully others because they know that they're all aesthetics. We work just as hard in the gym, in this ring," before they get cut off by the Flex Offenders responding via video at the gym. Tony, doing a lift, says, "How dare you? How dare you insult what we do by saying you're anywhere in our planet, much less our league? We are not equals. You're okay. We're great. You're physically and mentally lazy, while us genetic freaks never sleep." Scott takes over. "Blazing boyfriends, you couple of bleep." Tony tries to tell Scott to chill out. "I take shits your size, and you're lucky for rules and regulations because that's all that keeps you alive in the ring with us." Riddle yells back, "The only cardio you do is running your damn mouth. So how about next week we have a powerlifting competition? You pick the lift, and we'll embarrass you right here in front of all these fans. And at Armageddon's, set your alarms because we're putting your asses to sleep. Get these bums off our screen." Before their music plays. The next week comes, and on social media, it's been revealed that the Flex Offenders have chosen the bench press for the competition. They get to the ring and make their entrances. The rules are stated that whichever team hits a higher combined max will win. Tony struggles but gets 300 pounds up. Scott seemingly easily gets 350 pounds up. Riddle goes down to 275 and gets that up. Rob slowly keeps putting more weight on to cheers from the crowd, eventually getting up to 375 pounds of weight on the bar. Rob gets it up. The crowd roars, cheering that they would give them a higher total. But Scott and Tony attack Riddle from behind while he's spotting. This makes Rob drop the weight and struggle to get it off himself. Scott is stomping Riddle on the ground while Tony gets on top of the bar and rains punches on RVD until security floods the ring, pulls the Flex Offenders off, and gets the weight off RVD, who is bright red from the air loss from the weight being on his neck, being given water and time to catch his breath. On the go-home show, there's a singles match booked between Matt Riddle and Tony Nese, with all others barred from ringside. Riddle leans into his MMA background and uses his anger about seeing his partner in grave danger to effectively squash Tony Nese. He's beating his ass all around the ring, no flips, just stiff strikes. The ref is having to pull him off at close 4 counts multiple times over. Tony is running away and only getting brief moments of offense in. Riddle lands 2 chest kicks followed by a head kick, then hits Bro Derek before he could pin Tony. But before he could pin Tony, Scott comes out, dragging a bloodied RVD to the entrance ramp by his hair. Riddle runs to the ramp and gets counted out as he throws Scott into the backdrop and fights him down the ramp. Tony makes it a 2-on-1 and Riddle gets overwhelmed until RVD grabs a chair and saves it with hard chair shots to the flex offenders. They get in the ring and Rob says on the mic, "You want to know how I know we're going to win? You avoid us. You attack us from behind. You cheat. All that muscle and you're still insecure. We know who we are and what we can do. The first thing on our list is kick your stupid asses and win our belts back as tag partners, as bros, and as bro friends." Riddle and RVD hug and pump up the crowd for their big match as Tony and Scott scurry away backstage. For the attires, Riddle and RVD are wearing rainbow tie-dye gear. Scott and Tony are wearing black and red gear with tassels on their biceps. Riddle and Scott start the match. Riddle goes in with a similar mindset, raining strikes on Scott, but Scott uses his power to push him away, throw him down, and flex on him. This is until Riddle hits a flying knee to knock Steiner down. Riddle hits the 10 punches in the corner, but Scott pushes him off. Riddle backflips away from him, but Rob tags himself in before he's thrown off and hits his corner spear right as Riddle flies off, does his signature backflip into another corner spear. Scott goes for a gut kick, but gets caught, slapped in the face by RVD, and then hit with a step-over spinning wheel kick, sending Scott scrambling to tag in Tony. Tony is able to compete with Rob's speed, hitting a springboard back elbow, followed by a standing shooting star press for a 1 count. Tony tags Scott, who lifts Rob up in powerbomb position before Tony hits a springboard clothesline from the apron to knock him down. Scott attempts a pin for a 2. Scott tags Tony back in and shows off by hitting a Frankensteiner into a powerbomb from Tony. They go for a pin, and Rob is barely able to kick out for 2. Tony gets cocky and starts flexing the loud boos. The crowd cheers as RVD gets up. Tony thinks the crowd is cheering for him until Rob does a signature Rob Van Dam taunt. Tony turns around as Rob grabs his hand and hits the 3 high kicks into a spinning back kick. Rob goes up to the other corner on the same side as Scott and hits a diving side kick across the ring to knock Scott off the apron. Riddle hits the floating bro to the outside to Scott, while RVD hits a handspring moonsault on Tony. 1, 2, kick out. RVD hits the Rolling Thunder, but before he can attempt a pin, Scott runs in and hits a pump handle slam on Rob, and then he starts bench pressing Rob on the mat before military pressing him up from the ground. The ref has to kick Scott out of the ring to restore order. As the ref is keeping Riddle from getting involved, Scott removes a turnbuckle post from their corner, and Tony smashes Rob's head into it, reopening the wound from a few days before. Tony tags in Scott, who locks a bloodied Rob into a Steiner recliner. Rob starts to pass out. The ref has to do the arm test, but Rob gets the arm up at the 3rd drop and flips Scott off of him. Rob rolls under a clothesline from Scott to get the hot tag to Riddle, who comes in and hits a spinning back fist strike combo on Scott before hitting the jumping enziguri. He then leg sweeps him and hits the back senton. Tony tries running in, but Riddle throws him over the top to the apron. Rob kicks him in the chest from the apron, knocking Tony to be hunched over on the barricade. And then Rob hits the spinning leg drop onto him. Riddle then front drop kicks Scott into the exposed corner. Scott doesn't go down until the Riddle hits the bro Derek. 1, 2. Riddle lifts Scott's shoulder up. He's not done yet. He does an emphatic tag to RVD, getting back up from the apron, who hits a 5-star frog splash. 1, 2, 3. Blazing Saddles win despite missing Jimmy Wang Yang. They have a quick kiss and hug in the ring as green confetti falls.
Right, so this is this a 2-night event, or are you just split?
No.
Okay, so you're having confetti fall halfway through a show?
My main event is a Hell in a Cell match. Ain't no confetti getting in.
Right.
There's no confetti in hell, Mike.
No, he's saying there's gonna be more matches after this, not just that
There's
cell
more
match.
matches after.
They can clean the bro. They change whole mats for blood.
I understand.
They can
You're not
clean the
wrong.
That's
confetti.
not confetti.
Blood is harder to clean than confetti.
Dude, that's-
They just get a fucking broom.
No, you can roll up the
They
blood.
clean tacks out of ring. People wrestle after Abyss.
The confetti's also not just in the ring. The confetti would also be all around. It's like glitter. Like, what are we doing here?
Having
Glitter
confetti
confetti.
for gay rights and new tag team champions, Mike.
Dude, that'd be worse if you drop confetti. I would leave. Or not confetti, but glitter. If you drop glitter, I'd leave. Like, I'd be like, I'm done.
Glitter
like,
confetti. The combination.
Yeah, I should make it glitter confetti.
I do not think confetti should be dropped mid-show.
Well, this is a big babyface win, and we got some shit for you in the second half, and it ain't gonna be some happy-go-lucky stuff. It's Armageddon, Hell in a Cell, Mike. What do you think's gonna happen? People dying.
That's not my problem.
Hey,
Like,
that's giving.
Not actually dying. I'm not stealing Damone's.
You don't own death, Damone.
I do in BookItVerse.
You do not, sir.
I'm gonna draft death next time.
I don't think so.
I'm gonna draft death, retirement.
I think that's too broad of a term.
Draft to retirement's crazy, but that'll keep Kenny from doing it.
I'm just gonna.
Kenny shouldn't get to retire anybody.
Just gonna draft the BookItVerse, and then that's it.
The end of BookItVerse. Only Mike.
All of BookItVerse, and whatever you get a score,
Hey,
it's my score.
It's gonna feel like Travis drafted BookItVerse for the next couple months. So.
All right. Go ahead.
Go
Somebody
ahead.
else give a rating first.
So the right team definitely won. Some of the promos were. They were. Overall, I liked it.
Hey, I want to say one thing, Damone. Yes. I'm more toxic than you. Tessa never said the N-word in your show. Scott did say a slur in mine. It was bleep, but he said it.
True. But everyone's still alive on your show. That's the difference. You say slurs, I kill people. Same.
But Damone, you built a whole story around saying slurs and didn't say the slur.
You said
I never and
it's
said
one that you can actually say.
I never said she was going to say the slur. You assumed she was going to say the slur.
Well, we knew who it was. We know she does that.
I'm weak at Damone talking shit. You drafted 100, you left with 100. Soft. Wow.
Well, if you can't survive my booking, not my fault. I'm gonna give you a 4.25 here.
Okay.
Overall, I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. The confetti is kind of weird mid-show.
This is the happiest moment of the night.
I know, but like it is kind of weird to do confetti and then have another match
just after this.
Maybe a Black Christmas, what you said?
Overall, I did enjoy it. Like I said, right team won. I do like the registered flex offenders. I also like the bro friends. Mine is so corny, but I enjoy it. It's hilarious. Yeah.
All right, I'll go next. I'm gonna be the hater here.
Of course,
surprise!
I gave you a 5 last time. So, you had these niggas smooching. I gave you a 5 last time. I didn't like it.
Can he never be in the allegations?
That's fine. You ain't get no 5. Yeah, I didn't like it. The promos I did not like those promos at all. I didn't. And I was enjoying the show. Like literally we were building something. And then we got this one. We got confetti falling in the middle of the show. Not even the whole show. Because I was thinking the same thing. I said, wait, is he doing night 1 then night 2? Yeah, confetti falling. I don't know. I just feel like this feels like the same way you got mad at me for doing the chef and he came out with the special needs kid. You were like, oh my God. I feel like that with this. Having confetti falling. It feels forced. I didn't like it. So I'm at it wasn't.
Sorry, you don't like DEI, Kenny.
It wasn't egregious to the point where I was going to give you a 0.5 or anything like that. I'm just going to give you a solid 2. I'm going to give you just a 2. 1 for each member of the bro friend.
I'm giving you. I actually liked it. I'm not homophobic like Kenny. I'm giving you a 4.75.
Hell yeah. Well, that concludes part 1 of PPW Armageddon. If you want to see how we ruin Christmas, tune back in next week. It's only going to get worse. Maybe better, depending on what you like. But it's a little
Kenny
sneak.
said you get 2, 1 for each real gender.
I was going to say Hillary Duff didn't die for this. Even though she didn't die. She didn't die for this.
But a little hint for next week. Armageddon, Hell in a Cell, baby. So get ready for a fucking crazy main event.
I do love Hell in a Cell.
And also get ready for a Santa's Little Helper match. And no, that is not like a Vince McMahon like lingerie match. It's got dudes in it.
It's gonna be a little person. It's gonna be a little person.
It's gonna be Hornswoggle.
And Wee Man. It's gonna be Hornswoggle and Wee Man. I know. I know.
It's not. You're not ready. But yeah, let's find out where they can find us. So, Mike, can we find you yet?
Hell no.
Damn, he's too good for us. D Money, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me on all the bullshits except for Twitter because fuck Elon. At dumbmoney T13, so DAMONEY T13.
And Bad Guy, tell them about your 37 shows.
You can catch me on all social medias at Bad Guy Spoken. Catch the Bad Guy Spoken podcast on YouTube's. And you can also catch the football podcast on the same channel called Unbiased. See TK throw up a little U like this. And you can also see Hood Movie Review. We'll review all your favorite, not so favorite Hood movies. Booty Call should be coming out here shortly.
Yes.
And we're going to be reviewing, what was that movie? He just said it too. I'm blanking on it. What the movie was.
Kenny, I have a show idea.
Go ahead.
You gotta do a Hood book club where y'all read nothing but Quan Mills' entire like.
Is that the ones that's like it'll be like my baby dad's sister is pregnant
she
with
got
my
roaches
son's
in her
baby?
like,
Yeah, it's always something goofy like that. Yeah, I've seen those. I was like, this is goofy. I only read.
Fake retired on TikTok like 3 times.
I've said this on Geek in the Sheets and Narc. I only read horror books like Stephen King and Alfred Hitchcock. That's all I read. I don't read anything.
So you don't want to read this hoe got roaches in her crib?
Did you say
No.
Okay, but Hood book club books? Read that would be crazy. So just pocket that idea.
Trump,
what about your other shows?
Trump, a Hood novel.
A Hood novel.
But you want to say something?
I forgot, man. It was a good joke. It's gone now.
Damn it. Okay. So that's a Hood movie review. You can also catch Geek in the motherfucking Sheets. We talk all things anime, Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, all that shit. And then last but not least, we talk about the greatest. I'm gonna say the second best because it's not better than Bad Guy Spoken podcast. I'll talk about Not a Real Court, where we argue things like best fruit, best vegetables. One of these days we're gonna do best vegetables. I don't know when, but we're gonna do it.
Whenever Joe knows what one tastes like.
Whenever he eats some celery, some corn, it'll be fun.
Are you gonna I know you guys do recommendations on that show. Are you gonna recommend He's My Thug, I'm His Piece?
I think this is how we find out Kenny just reads the horror smut porn, like the monster porn that all these girls are reading.
That's what my wife reads. So
what is that? Yeah. Horror smut porn?
Yeah, there's definitely horror smut porn.
Kenny, just like you be hitting that Brazzers twice a day.
I'm about to say, is that
just reading they porn?
Is that just hentai with tentacles?
Yeah.
But just kinda.
Yeah, but there's like more like monsters and like
that's insane.
Just smut.
Yeah, it's just like
why are
women fucking like leprechauns and stuff like that.
Fuckers. Like
but that's crazy though. Like like females would be like, "Oh, you guys are so just horny and
Right,
disgusting
but-
because you watch porn." But then read an entire book. Like my porn's gonna last me 5 minutes. I'm
Oh,
gonna
and
be
they're
like,
very-
"Okay, bet."
and
Hey,
they're
you're
very
gonna
open about
read an
it.
entire book, chapters of this. You're gonna read the lead up, when it happens, all that stuff. That's insane.
Yeah.
They don't have post nut clarity. That's what it is.
It just keeps going. And then we went to the store, and then, like, no, wrap this up.
Yeah.
At least the pizza guy leaves on mine. That's it.
No, the
Johnny
pizza
Sin's
guy
gotta go to
turns
his
I
other
don't
into
even
a,
need the
17
pizza guy to
jobs.
leave. I'm done halfway through. The pizza
The
guy
pi-
is still there. Like for all I know.
Hell, Johnny Sin's other jobs to go get killed on Damone's BookItVerse.
Was they're eating the pizza? That one. So your nuts are in this. Okay, keep going. My bad.
And lastly, you can find me in 2 places: Blue Sky, Heel Pepsi Man. I know how to spell heel this time: HEEL, Pepsi Man. And then Reach for the Ropes Wrestling Discussion Group, where we talk. I think last about the Royal Rumble. Talk your shit, come communicate, and you talk to the cast members of the show. With that said, that's been an episode of Book It. See ya.
Bye.